the 90 Buffalo Bills were thoroughly dominant in every single way, raced through the playoffs. They put up 44 against the Dolphins and 51-3 over the Raiders in the AFC Championship game. If Scott Norwood's field goal is 3 feet to the left, suddenly they're a top 10 team of all time. But you don't win that game, you get dropped out of it. I'm sorry, you got to win.
I get that you have to win, but again, I just think it's a little different.
Nobody ever says the 90 Bills should be a top 10 team.
The 90 Bills weren't undefeated before the Super Bowl. Now we're talking about multiple losses. We're talking about one loss.
But we're talking about the difference is you have to win the flipping game.
But hold on, you wanted that 49er team that was 15-1 up in the top 5.
They won the Super Bowl.
But in the end, they finished with the same record as the Patriots did then.
But
they both had one loss.
Okay, but they won the Super Bowl.
I get that they won the Super Bowl.
That means you beat
I get it.
a team that was arguably your equal, not losing an October.
Well, guess what?
A Week 6 game.
The Patriots did beat that team in Week 17. They beat the Giants in their building.
But it didn't matter. You only have to win the Super Bowl.
I get it.
The only thing you have to do is win the Okay,
but then the top 55 teams should all be the 55 Super Bowl champions then, if that's the argument.
No, because you can bring in the old NFL champions before the Super Bowl. I am saying the earliest you can possibly put a Super Bowl loser, the earliest would be 25 and under.
Oh, I disagree.
The earliest.
I think
you gotta win the Super Bowl.
I think that Patriots team with one loss off one drive, and it's the greatest night of my life, don't get me wrong, that's a top 10 team of all time.
All Belichick ever preaches is you have to finish. You have to do your job. We have to win the Super Bowl. He doesn't say, let's just try to win all the regular season games. If we flame out in the playoffs, so what? That means nothing. He says it means nothing. It's his team. It means nothing.
That Patriot team was so great, there's a better than 50-50 chance they beat any single one of those 16 teams ahead of them.
You got to do it, though. We can't do it in hypotheticals.
It was a drive with under 2 minutes left where a guy pinned the ball against the
14
helmet.
Points. They scored 14
They ran into a perfect
points.
game plan where a team saw them for a second time, which is so unique in a Super Bowl.
All right, so the 0-1 Rams then deserve to be a top 20 team of all time.
I mean, I don't know about top 20. Again, they didn't go undefeated in the regular season. You're discounting the undefeated part of this.
So then the Carolina Panthers, a couple of years ago, when 15-1 lost the Super Bowl, they should be a top 25 team.
Again, that's 2 losses now. 2 losses is different than 1 loss.
I mean, come on.
I'm not moving the goalposts here.
Come on.
The Patriots lost 1 game from opening day to the Super Bowl. It happened to be the Super Bowl, and we're punishing them for that.
Yeah, you think they got to win the Super Bowl.
That's a top 10 team of all time. It is.
That's a joke. I mean,
it's not a joke.
That's a total joke.
Yeah, you hate the Patriots. I get you hate the Patriots.
No.
This is Patriot hatred.
And I'll tell you why this even
Don't
stems.
point your finger at me.
It's way earlier than that. You interrupted the final segment of this.
I did.
Okay, so I'll point my finger when I want to point my finger. Joe Theismann incessantly says that the 83 Washington team he was on was one of the greatest teams ever. Ever. He always says that was our greatest team ever. We should be considered one of the greatest teams ever. They lost the Super Bowl 38-6 to the Raiders. To me, it's the biggest farce in the world that Joe Theismann keeps banging the drum for the 83 Washington team because there's no way a team that loses the Super Bowl and loses 38-6 should be anywhere in a conversation of greatest team ever.
Right. I think it's a little different when a guy in a locker room doesn't grasp what we get. We get to grasp that from the outside observing.
But I'm saying that this has nothing to do with the Patriots not winning. I said the same thing about Washington for years when Joe Theismann made this argument.
I happen to think that if it was a Peyton Manning Colt team that was undefeated and they lost the Super Bowl the same way to the Giants, you may think they belong higher.
You have to win the Super Bowl. That's the only thing you have to do to get on the list of the greatest 20 teams ever. After that, we can make arguments. Top 20 all time, you got to actually do the thing that you set out to do.